What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back for some trade recaps. And today we're going to talk about the shorts I did on STON and DYAI. So DYAI was my first short, and this setup is exactly the setup that I broke down in my video last week when I went over my shorting strategy. So this immediate kind of pop, but then rejection on weakness on strong selling volume, and then a pop trying to reclaim the VWAP, but then an immediate rejection, or at least a strong rejection at a certain level, with like this 850 level, which started to act as really strong resistance. So once you had this pop and then this rejection, I want to see it reject the VWAP. So you can see it broke the VWAP here and rejected, and then I want to see it start breaking down lower, and you can see it broke the low of that candle there, started to break down lower, and as it kind of popped here, I got short. So I was getting short in this 790 range, knowing that my stop is now the VWAP around the 810s, giving me a 25-cent stop, 25-cent stop. And then as it broke lower, I covered. Unfortunately, with this one, I was looking to add to this short position. I was only in about half. I wanted to get in about, double the size of this position, and then I would have had a nicer move covering this. But instead of, this thing giving me a chance to get back in, it just kind of kept going lower. So I just kept covering some of my shares as it went lower. Unfortunately, I would have liked to, get more short into this, but I kind of thought that it might base out and come back up, so I didn't want to be shorting it too much after this big rejection. But as you can see, I definitely left some money on the table on this trade, but what can you do? You can't always hit a home run. You just need those base hits, which is what I was looking for here, and that's what I ended up getting. So most of my shares, I got 50, 60 cents on, $7-8 stock. It's not bad. So with STON, I made more money. It was definitely more profitable, and you can see here I kind of was able to short it right at the top of this bounce, but I was a little too trigger happy and I got in a little too quick, and it ripped against me pretty strong. So I ended up covering a quarter size of my shares at the top, which really was dumb, but at the same time, it was just me not wanting to hold full size if this thing started to really go against me. So I wanted to kind of start to size down, but I also didn't want to cover like my whole shares in case it did exactly what it did, which is reject. So because everybody's chart's different, some people the VWAP might be at 475 or at 470 or 460, whereas like my VWAP there was at 450, right? So you never really know exactly where other people's VWAPs are as well. So you want to use that general area, not necessarily the VWAP itself. So when you see it break above this, you want to see, is it going to hold or is it going to get these immediate rejections? As you can see in these candle wicks, that there was a ton of selling pressure. Once it broke above the VWAP, it got hit with selling pressure, and then that broke it back down below the VWAP. And that's why I was able to add to my position at the top. Once I covered, I added again once I saw it was starting to reject, and I was like, okay, you know what, I'm going to get back to full size and I'm going to see what happens and wait. And as it started to break down lower and started to give me profits, I was taking half size profits and then adding half once it popped again, and I realized that it was starting to reject and give me that kind of VWAP rejection with weak selling volume, but a lot of short interest. So that gave me the confidence to then get in on this bounce and cover once it hit towards 4, and then again once it started to bounce, get in using $4 now as a stop, and covering my shares as it bounced down into the 375 area. So a lot of times with these, you can see half and whole dollar levels as it breaks down. So it breaks 450, it breaks $4. You want to be covering into those levels and be able to understand that sometimes those levels are going to act as support. As you can see, 375 here, it broke, but then it immediately came back up, and then 375 started to act as support, and now it's starting to reverse, right? And that's when you want to be looking, just like 850 on this DYAI started to act as resistance. Once it popped up, 850 was resistance, it tried again, 850 was resistance, tried again, 850 resistance, to a reversal, right? And that's when you want to short into that signal where it's like, okay, we're done, we're going to give up, we're going to break to new lows, and we're going to keep falling. And that's why you want to be covering also into these half and whole dollar levels, knowing that if it breaks, like if it pops here at 7 and then it reverses, it can pop back up to $8 pretty quick, right? So you want to be taking your profits when you're given them, and be able to get back in if you see it starting to fail again. And that's kind of my strategy with shorting. Obviously, on DYAI, it would have been nicer if I just held all of my shares and covered at the bottom, you know, taking a $1.20 win. But you never know that's going to happen, right? There's many times when I've held a full size in a position, you know, been up like $1 or something, and next thing you know, it reverses, and I'm back to break even, where I could have taken, you know, at least half my profits at $1. And that's kind of why you want to be scaling out of your position when you hit those half and whole dollar levels, or those levels of support, previous support and resistance, right? So anyway, and you can see here, like, the previous support and resistance from the pre-market is right here. So that's one of the reasons why I'm covering my shares into this bounce, because I realized that, hey, if this thing catches here like it did, you can see this bounce here, right? I don't want to be caught in a move like that on the downside, right? So anyway, those are my trades from today. It was a really nice day. Trading my strategy exactly the way I like to trade it. I was able to get shares on the companies that I seen that were weak, so I was able to get some profits. I was also trying to short SPRT, but unfortunately it didn't really give me a chance, and I wasn't able to get shares anyway. So around this level, I was kind of like, you know what, this is interesting. It's breaking below the VWAP. Let's see what happens. But you can see it consolidated and then came back against you. So that's why you want to be able to respect your stop. If you get in here and you don't take profits, you want to be able to get out once it breaks this VWAP, right? Because that's going to be your level of support and resistance. And if it breaks above, then this is going to start acting as support. And you can see once it gives up, then that's going to start acting as resistance, and it's going to hopefully give you a nice bounce up and then a rejection. And these are, you know, technical patterns that you look for. You want to be aware of these so you can understand when the best time is to enter and when the best time is to get out, right? And I'm not perfect. I'm not an expert. I'm not amazing, but I do, you know, understand it, and I'm getting better at understanding it. And that's why I make these videos, to explain to you guys my thought process, my strategies, and how I'm learning as I'm growing as a trader. Thanks for watching, guys, and feel free to leave a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of the video, and hopefully you guys are green today, and we'll see you guys with another video soon. Thanks.